Going?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So, welcome back to the channel, American in the Philippines. I'm David. I'm the American in the Philippines, and the channel was started by Joy, of course. She's running around. She just set up the camera and told me, do my next video so we can get it uploaded. She also told me we're up to 402 on? Yeah?
Yes.
402 subscribers. Very exciting. Thank you, all of you that subscribe to the channel. We were at 388 2 days ago, so we gained another 14 subscribers in 2 days. That is amazing, and we really appreciate it. So, subject of today's video is the absolute best retirement visa in Southeast Asia. Drum roll, please. It is the Special Resident Retirement Visa, expanded courtesy from the Philippines. So, what makes it the best in Southeast Asia? Well, there's not a big income requirement. There's not a big expenditure requirement. There's not big fees. This is a retirement visa that's really pretty easy to get. And what does it do for you? Well, one of the issues that I've talked about in previous videos is dealing with immigration office. My closest immigration office is 2.5 hour drive away or a 4 hour bus ride away in Naga City. So when you get this retirement visa, you don't deal with Bureau of Immigration anymore at all. That includes annual check-ins, that includes exit clearances when you're getting ready to leave, none of that. You don't deal with them at all. So to me, that's a big deal. It's one of the reasons I really like this visa, one of many. So what qualifies? First off, I'm going to be talking about the expanded courtesy. There's many versions of this retirement visa. So if you really want to know, look on the PRA website, and it's Philippine Retirement Authority if you want to Google that. And when you get on the page, look for the SRRV. Just push the button for SRRV and it'll come up with the different types they have. There's many types. I think there's 5 or 6 different versions of this retirement visa. And I'm going to be talking about specifically the expanded courtesy because that's the one that I have. And that's the one that I think is the best in Southeast Asia, maybe the best in the world that I've seen. So I looked at other retirement visas as I was getting closer to retirement age, and this one really is great. So the expanded courtesy, you must be 50 years old, although I've heard a rumor that the PRA is looking at dropping the requirement down again, age. It used to be all the way down at 35 years old. And I've heard they're thinking about dropping it back down to 40, 45, but they haven't done it as of yet. So it's still 50 years old right now. So you have to be 50 years old or older. The expanded courtesy is a military service. So you have to have proof of your military service. In my case, America, it's a DD-214. But keep in mind, this is more than just U.S. military. And this is not a retired, you don't have to retire from the military. If you served 2 years and you got out, or you served 4 years and you got out, or you served reserves, or you served in United Kingdom military, you served in Australian military, it's not just U.S. and it's not a retirement only. So if you served, and you served in one of the countries, I believe it's the EU 309, the same ones that they use for the visas, tourist visas. If you can come into the country automatically and get a visa on arrival, those countries, I believe it's the same countries they use for making the list for military, what counts for military. So, military service, doesn't have to be retirement, doesn't have to be the US, military service, and then proof of a pension of at least 1,000 US dollars. So this doesn't have to be, obviously, retirement. I just said you don't have to retire. So if you have a VA disability pension, if you have pension from another job, if you have pension from anything, as long as it's $1,000 a month. Next up, you have to get an NBI clearance. So that's done in country. And it's a pretty easy process. I turned in my application on Monday, I believe, and by Friday they had it ready. So within 1 week, it was ready to go back to the PRA office. Medical exam, when you look at the form for the medical exam, it looks like it might be pretty daunting. But when you actually get up to the PRA office and you're with your agency helper, it's really easy. They tell you exactly where to go. They put you in a car. They tell the driver where to go. They already know the process. You get to this clinic. They know exactly what you're there for. PRA, you're getting a retirement visa. They rush you through the offices, get your checks done, and you're out of there. And I don't know, I was there maybe an hour or two, and I was done. And then next day or the day after, they sent the results to the PRA. So I didn't even have to do any legwork for it. Police background check. Now this is one that I was worried about when I was originally thinking about it, because I was already in country. And according to like the website, you get this from your home country, and it's something you have to get done before you come, and it's only good for 6 months, blah, blah, blah. But when I went to the agency and talked to my agency coordinator, I could get it done by Interpol. And I was already in the country, and the PRA, or the agency that I went with, they ended up sending the check to Interpol for me and came back within 2 days, I think, and good to go. And the last one, application form. Obviously, you have to fill out an application form. It's the form that's on the website. So fees, it's $1,400 US is the application fee. Now keep in mind, out of that $1,400, the PRA pays your agency assistant $500. So when you're talking to your agency assistant, like I'll tell you who I used at the end of the video, when you're talking with them and you're thinking they're doing so much for me, they're helping me out, this is great, keep in mind they're already being paid. Now my agency assistant, I ended up giving 2,000 pesos at the end of all of my application process, about $40. But that was just because she helped me so much and I felt so happy with the service. So that's completely up to you. The next item is a $1,500, military, this is the expanded courtesy, $1,500 US has to be deposited into a bank. Now the agency coordinator will help you do this too. In Makati, there's a couple of banks they use. She took me right to the bank. Originally I was told it had to be wire transfer, but then she asked, my agency contact asked if I had my checkbook with me. And I said, no, it's at home still. I didn't bring it up to Makati with me. But if I would have known, I would have brought it. So I'm not sure if it's still available now, but at the time when I got mine done, you could just write a check to the bank and they'll deposit it at whatever the processing time takes for it to go through their system, and then it's good to go. The wire transfer wasn't that bad either way. I set up the wire transfer with my bank while I was in Makati. Called them, gave them all the information from the bank that I went and talked to and set up my account. And it took to the next day, I think it was deposited. They advised you to give a little bit extra on the $1,500. I think I sent $1,550 because the bank stops along the way and they charge whatever their fee is for transferring wire transfers. Mine ended up, I sent $1,550, and by the time I got to the bank there in Makati, it had $1,541 or something. That $9 was taken off. So you don't have to do as much as I did, I don't think. Depends on your bank and where it's coming from maybe. But I sent a little bit more than I needed to. It worked out fine for me either way. But so the other item that I thought I was going to have an issue with was the apostille. Military service, your DD-214, and the proof of pension. They're coming from other agencies outside the Philippines. It's not like your police background check coming from Interpol. They consider that within country. You don't have to get that apostilled. But the military service and the proof of pension, they want apostilled. It's basically a high-level notary. Now, at the time that I was doing mine application, they were allowing you to get a notarized statement from the U.S. Embassy in Manila. So for me, it was much easier than, I'm not going to fly all the way back to America to try to get these two documents apostilled in the state secretary's office. It's easier for me just to go to the U.S. Embassy and get it notarized. So I made an appointment at the embassy, went to the embassy with the two documents and got a notary done. They already knew what was happening. They had a blank form already done up for the PRA, for the notary of the documents. So it was easy peasy. Got it done at the embassy. Took it back to PRA and turned it in. I did my application and they told me it would be about 6 weeks. Now keep in mind, when you do your application, you have to give up your passport, because part of the visa is they put a visa card inside your passport on one of the pages. It says you have a special retirement visa along with your ID card, which I don't have on me now. It's in the room, but they need your passport. So it's something you have to give up your passport for that 6 weeks. I was kind of a little bit concerned about it, but it ended up not being a problem because you have to go up and take the oath after it's ready anyway. So they told me about 6 weeks. And then I got notified in about 4 weeks that it was ready to go. And they wanted to know when I would come up for my oath. So you have to make another trip back up to Makati, to the PRA office, and do your oath taking. And it really is oaths. I promise I'll be a good boy while I'm here. And they give you a packet and they give you stuff and they tell you if you ever need any help with anything, license or setting up a bank account or anything that you need help with, contact the office and they'll help you out. So I really think it is the greatest. So for under $3,000, I have a lifetime visa, lifetime entrance and exit as much as I want visa, that I pay $10 a year to get my ID card renewed, and that's it. I really do think it is the best retirement visa in Southeast Asia, and probably one of the best in the world. So if you have any military service and you're from the US, the UK, Australia, any of the countries that have treaty requirement or treaty set up with the Philippines, I really encourage you to look at this retirement visa. If it's a place that you're thinking about going, is the Philippines. You can't beat it. You really can't. So I told you I'd tell you who I used for assistance. My assistance was through Mary Rose and her assistant that she has with her, Thelma Uwe. Thelma was actually the one that I spent all my time with. She's the one that drug me around and took me everywhere. Get your passport pictures here, do this, do this. I'm going to send you in the medical. I'll tell the driver where to go. They know where to go. They know you're on your way. Blah, blah, blah. She took care of everything. And you can reach Mary Rose and Thelma at info@Vanagen Management, and I'll spell it out for you. Info at symbol VANINGEMANAGEMENT.com. And that's their email. So I recommend getting with them, in touch with them. Like I told you, the fee to the PRA, part of the fee goes to them. So don't feel bad about asking questions. Don't feel bad about all that they do for you, because they are being paid. And $500 income for this, for a couple days work or a week's work, is good income, especially here. So don't feel bad about asking questions. By all means, email them and ask questions. They're there for you. And if you have any questions, they'd be the ones to ask, because they're the ones that are one of the things, the PRA changes a lot of the processes. Like I told you, the apostille was changed to the embassy notary worked. And also you didn't have to, they say you have to wire transfer, but when I got there, then they said you could use a check. So they're the most up to date on what today's requirements are. So if you have a question, Mary Rose or Thelma Uwe, and Uwe is U-Y. I think it's pronounced Uwe. I don't know for sure, but that is the retirement visa, the best in Asia. And that is my video for today. Thank you for subscribing. All those people that have subscribed, we're over 400. And if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed, please do. It's free. And we really appreciate each and every one of our subscribers. This is great. We're so happy with how the channel's going so far. One of our subscribers, speaking of which, made a comment about asking about the house video and the solar video. So those will be the next ones up. I think the next one will be the house video, and that one will come out in a couple days. If you haven't noticed, we do them every other day. We make a video. So the house one will be the next one up, I believe. And we'll show you our house and tell you how much it cost us to build it. And then 2 days after that, we'll discuss solar. and how much that cost and how we got it installed and all of that. So I really do appreciate it. I know Joy really appreciates it, and that's our next video. Thank you very much. And until next time, bye. I'm done. I'm done.